Hi, James Taylor. I'm going to be your host. Host of what? Host of this podcast. This is episode 1 of Fueled by Spite.
What the hell's going on out here?
The point of this arose out of, oddly enough, stereotypically enough, a golf game. You know, networking on the golf course, as professionals tend to do. I was golfing with a guy, and he sells things to chiropractors. And he asked me, like, what's the deal with chiropractors? What do you mean? How come some chiropractors do really good with what I help them with, and some chiropractors do really bad? Well, it's easy. Chiropractors can be pussies. What's that mean? We're all in the business of selling. All of us. If you own a business, you have to sell. End of story. Whether it's a business in healthcare, whether you're a gym owner, whether you're making donuts, whatever it is, you have to be able to sell. That's what every business does. It provides a service, a good, whatever, you have to be able to sell. Selling's hard for people. That's why being a success in business is hard for people, because you have to sell. Why do chiropractors have such trouble? Well, because they're kind of pussies. Fact of the matter. That doesn't mean they're not great chiropractors. That doesn't mean they're not caring. That doesn't mean they can't help a lot of people. But they're bad business people. Typically. Try not to paint with a broad brush, but I'm failing. What this podcast came out of was my want to help more people. Okay? As a chiropractor, I use these. I use my hands to help people. I can only help one person at a time, and they have to be right in front of me. That is the drawback. I say to my patients all the time, you see a lot of people. It's just a fun game. How many people can I help in a day? But that's the catch. They have to be in front of me, and I have to use these. So I wanted to figure out, and I spent all of 2022 trying to figure out, how can I help more people? How can I reach more people? And how can I do it without using my hands? Podcast. So this is not going to be a chiropractic podcast. This is not going to be a health and wellness podcast. It's not going to be a medical podcast. This is going to be a self-development podcast. This is going to be a business podcast. This is going to be an entrepreneurship podcast. And everything I said could certainly change. Because I've never done this before. That's the vision I have going forward. What I want to do is I want to help more people. My target audience, if this is you, is somebody that's trying to improve themselves. Maybe not in business, maybe just personally, maybe just emotionally. I mean, the last 3 years, it's currently 2022, the 19th of December, there are only a few days left, but the last few years have been unlike any other we've had in succession in human history. There's a lot of changes going on in business, in relationships. I want to see if I can help. Now, see if I can answer some questions. And what I want to do, it's not going to be the anti-podcast, but it's going to look at it from a different bent. Meaning, if you look at the title, it's Fueled by Spite. We can be motivated by lots of things. Spite's one of those things. If you're not familiar with me, my name is James Taylor. I was born and raised in Minnesota. I was born and raised a Vikings fan. I was born and raised to hate the Packers. Cool, I'm fine with all that. But I like watching Aaron Rodgers. And I really like watching him in the last 2 minutes when he's down. And I really like watching him when he plays the Niners. Because the Niners skipped over him in the draft. That's how he ended up with the Packers. Every time he plays the Niners, that guy balls out. He's fueled by spite. I think it's okay to be fueled by spite. I think it's okay to win. I think it's okay to try and be better than others. I think it's okay to try and be better than yourself. Everyone's pretty cool with that. I think it's okay to keep score. I think it's okay to point to the scoreboard within reason. I mean, I also like I believe it was Walter Payton, act like you've been there before. You cross the end zone. You cross the goal line. Act like you've been there before. But at the same time, I like a little bit of celebration. You do something awesome, cool, celebrate it. Absolutely. And that's okay. And sometimes when you do something awesome, that means you've overcome something of yours. That could also mean you overcame somebody else. And I think it's okay to celebrate that. I think it's okay to keep score. And for me personally, that's where motivation comes from. This is going to be very rough, and I'm okay with rough. I think rough is good. So what is this going to look like? Initially, it's just going to be me and people I know. People I know that have overcome things. We're not talking about what they use to overcome things. Some of them might use victory and spites to overcome it, some not. I've literally just gone through and set up a list of people who I have come across in my life that have done what I consider to be something awesome. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what they did to overcome those things, what they did to meet the challenges, and we're going to see if they kept score. Because I think it's okay to keep score. I think we should keep score. I'm okay with participation trophies if you're in a league that just wants you to participate. But if you're in a league that keeps score, I want you to keep score. Business keeps score. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to see if I can help people outside of these four walls of my office. I'm going to see if I can help people beyond the reach of my hands. I'm going to see if I can help people beyond the reach of my money. I'm going to see if I can help more people. And I'm going to see if I can help people by giving them a different perspective. One that is falling by the wayside, if you will. One that's falling out of favor. And I don't think it should. I think we should keep score. I think it's okay to be fueled by the want, the need, the drive to beat other people. I think that's fine. Now, there's something to be said for having grace and victory. But it's still victory. You should be allowed to celebrate it, provided you didn't do anything weird or crazy or untoward or underhanded. But in a nutshell, this is episode 1. This is what I'm shooting for. This is my plan going forward. I want to look at victory. I want to look at success in life, in business, in health, in relationships. And I want to look at it from the perspective of the scoreboard. And I think that's okay. Because that's how I look at it. I mean, we'll certainly get into an origin story, but the reason I'm here, the reason that I run a successful office, and hopefully in the future multiple offices, hopefully in the future not multiple podcasts, but run a successful podcast, is because I'm trying to be better than other people. I'm trying to do things other people are not doing. And the people that are doing these things, I'm trying to be better than them. I just am. So people say, why do you want to try to be better than others? I don't know. That's just how I'm wired. That's what drives me. Look at me. I want you to look at me. I want you to notice me. I want you to notice that I did something awesome. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a wonderful motivational aspect to have. Now, you don't have to have it. This podcast might not work for you. My frame of mind, my frame of reference might not work for you. That's fine. You're wrong. No. It's okay to be funny. It's okay to be sarcastic. It's okay to win. It's okay to use your drive to beat others to propel you forward. And it's okay if the others is not like your past self. I want to be better than I was yesterday. Cool. Good for you. I want to be better than the guy that's better than me. So let's see where this goes. Let's find some people. If you're interested, shoot me a message. If you want to be a guest, let's go for it. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I got to figure out Zoom and all this kind of stuff, but I'm testing the water with both feet. I'm jumping in an effort to help people. And I think that alone is going to make this a success, whether we do 5 episodes or 500 episodes. The intent behind this is to help other people, is to give people a way to look at things that might not necessarily be favorable or popular at the moment, given the current social climate and standing and whatever. I want to share things from my perspective and the perspective of others, and I want to share things that have allowed people to overcome obstacles, overcome tough decisions, to see through a plan that they laid out in front of them and achieve a goal. And when they do it, I want them to see the scoreboard. Thanks for listening. Episode 1. Done.